It's been 40 years since two boys were abducted and killed in Sarpy County. Today, Sarpy County law enforcement wants us to remember those boys.
As producer Roger Hamer shows us, law enforcement wants all victims of crime to know there's support available.
They were crimes that rocked the entire metro area. 13-year-old Danny Joe Eberly and 12-year-old Christopher Walden were kidnapped and brutally murdered. Christopher's father, Stephen Walden.
Chris walked to school by himself, and there were other kids, and we should have paid attention more on what the hazards were. There was a threat out there, and yes, that was a regret that we ignored it.
The grief hasn't diminished over the decades, and people here remember packing the Sarpy County boardroom. Lisa Summers recalls the pain of 40 years ago.
I went to Mission Junior High with Danny Joe, so I was there for the abduction and the murder, and it was surreal. I mean, it was a sad and out-of-body experience, quite honestly, for so many of us.
Today is about remembering those boys, their family, friends, and loved ones, and all those that were touched by what happened.
To remember the boys and other victims of crime, the Eberly Walden Crime Victims Memorial was unveiled at the Sarpy County Courthouse. It's right near the entrance of the courthouse, so those entering the building will not only see the memorial, but a video about what happened 40 years ago. Joe Putchinter created the memorial and shares his vision on the piece.
Want everybody to know they're okay, and that even when you're a victim, that eventually you're going to be okay, and that's what this is. They're on their way to heaven. I still wanted to make sure you knew who was who, you know, the paper boy and with the knapsack and their hair and all that.
For Lisa Summers, it was an avalanche of emotion.
On the plaque, the boys are wearing what they were wearing when they were found. So Danny Joe is wearing his satchel for his newspapers, and then Christopher Walden's wearing his backpack because he's on his way to school. So I'm very emotional. Yeah, it's wonderful.
And for Stephen Walden, solace in knowing that his son won't be forgotten.
You spread the sorrow over more people, and you know that they're sympathetic to you. The sympathy comes through. Remain vigilant that nobody should ever have to go through this again.
On your side in Sarpy County, Roger Hamer, WOWT 6 News.
The Eberly Walden Victim Memorial was created through the Sarpy County Sheriff's Foundation and paid with private donations. The memorial is dedicated not to just the boys, but other victims of crime in Sarpy County who might feel alone in finding justice.